It's Tuesday, everybody, and we got a lot to talk about, a lot to roast, a lot to recap. So smash that like. Hopefully you're wearing something comfy. Producer Prince has made an appearance. And hit that subscribe, grab a beverage, and let's get started.
If you like what you see, come and get it with me. I know you deserve all you want, 'cause your heart's made of gold. But don't wait till you're old. If you want it, I get you some.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Stand-up comedian and pop culture vulture, Joleen Lunzer here for another No Offense, All Offense, the show where we never mean to offend, but someone's probably going to be offended. Probably me. We take a comedic look at pop culture news, trending stories, things we love to hate, things we hate to love. I'm very opinionated, just like Prince's tail is very fluffy and luxurious, but that doesn't mean you have to have the same opinion. You are welcome to sound off in the live chat. If you're joining us live, hello, or the comment section, and we can just respectfully agree to disagree.
That's my opinion!
Remember, everything I say is true, except for the parts that are false. Everything is alleged and for entertainment purposes only.
Allegedly!
But remember, you're in the right place because I am very well respected. Some of your least favorite reality television stars love me.
I heard actually mixed reviews on Joleen.
Oh, Joleen was excellent. What are they saying?
Thank you, Lala. Thank you so much for saying that I am excellent. Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Smash that like if you haven't already. Let's set a like goal for 500. You guys have been killing it on the likes. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. We're on our way to 50,000 subscribers in 2025. That is the goal. You guys every day are getting me closer to that goal. So thank you. And you know the drill. If you want to support the channel further than liking or subscribing, you can always consider joining either my YouTube membership or my Patreon. Links for that are in the description. You get some exclusive bonus content when you sign up there, or you can send a super chat while we're live, or super thanks after the video posts here on YouTube. And thank you to those of you who have hit me up on the Venmo, PayPal, Cash App. Thank you, Otter, for your Venmo. I appreciate it very much. Thank you, Gigi, for your Cash App. You guys are amazing. All right. So yes, like Susan says, happy Tuesday. We have a lot of things to talk about today. Hopefully you guys are doing well wherever you are in the world. All right. So let me pull up the first thing we are going to talk about today. While we're waiting, just smash that like if you don't mind. It's the free way to support the channel. Okay. So let's see. Let's talk about this first thing. We have been talking about, different, obviously with the California wildfire situation and our different, bravotv celebrities, different people, volunteer efforts that have been going on. Ariana has been volunteering. Ariana Madix from the Real Housewives, pretty much, from Vanderpump Rules, obviously host of Love Island, Broadway, killing it. Spoke out, shout out to Bravo Snarkside, about volunteering to help animals and evacuating the fire. So Ariana's helping all the displaced animals, all right? And a huge shout out to all the volunteers, Bravo Snarkside says, who are helping their communities. So she met up with Access Hollywood to talk about the horses that she was helping to save. Again, if you guys want to, and if you can, please help out with the California wildfire relief effort. There are links in the description. The first thing that should pop up, I believe, are 2 links in which you can find a plethora of ways in which you can help with the wildfire relief effort. And if you guys are in Joshua Tree area tonight of California, I'll be doing a show where we're raising money for the California wildfire relief effort. And if you follow me on my social media at Joleen Lunzer on Instagram, I have all of the details for that show in my story. Okay, so let's take a listen to what Ariana had to say. There, we probably need a little bit of sound on this one.
Everyone's getting the what to do, what not to do. Right now, the donkeys are being taken out to be hand walked just to make sure that they get the exercise that they need.
Okay.
They followed a man on his motors. Oh. They followed a man on a motorcycle out. They just followed him.
Yeah.
And that's how they were rescued.
Ariana's home was close to the Sunset Fire, but was thankfully okay. But the second she was home and safe, she decided it was time to jump into action for others.
I was actually here when I got the notification that I had to evacuate. I came out here to bring carrots to my horse. We had to race home to then get my cat and get everything out. But when I showed up and I saw how many people were volunteering, it's the least that we can do for these owners who maybe have not even had a chance to come out here yet because they're dealing with so much with the loss of their homes.
To your point, you know, all of the volunteers here, what do you think it is that is so healing?
They're obviously so full of
Hi,
personality.
Brandy.
Yeah.
Jenny Nevin from the Los Angeles Equestrian Center says they've always been a place for the community, and last Tuesday night was no exception.
We had 200 or 300 horses arriving at the same time. And we don't only serve horses, it's large animals too.
Yeah.
So we have pigs and we have a mini cow and we have donkeys. Some of the horses arrived in stressed. And we had a few with injuries, but most settled in just fine and then have been able to be safe.
Smokey.
Hey, Smokey.
He's a cutie.
Isn't he?
And then this is actually the volunteer briefing meeting right now. So everyone's getting.
All right. So as you can see, Ariana, spreading awareness about, it's not just, the dogs and cats, there's bigger animals as well that need to be cared for and that were evacuated, and her tearing up as she talks about how the horses got out of the wildfires is just following a guy on his motorcycle. I mean, shout out to, yes, the mini cows, the little horses, everything, and Queen Ariana for what you're doing. Shout out to all the volunteers, everybody who's out there helping each other, because that is really what it's all about. So I just wanted to highlight that. We have a lot of people out there that are doing some really amazing things and spreading awareness and helping their fellow American, their fellow humans. Okay. So shout out to them. Next, I wanted to talk about get an update on the Allie Luber James Kennedy situation. We know James Kennedy was arrested for suspected alleged DV. We know that Allie, a neighbor, called and that Allie got out of the home allegedly. Her family came in during the holidays, got an Airbnb, and a word on the street was that her family, like any family would want their daughter to get out of this situation. So we were all thinking about Allie. Obviously, the different outlets have been following whether these two, there have been reports, maybe they got back together, maybe they didn't get back together. But according to TMZ, they're saying that it's over and that Allie was seen taking more items out of their once shared home in Burbank where this alleged DV incident occurred, and where the neighbor called, and then later the police report was released where Allie described him throwing her to the ground. So very just a yucky situation overall. But according to TMZ, one person takes stuff out of their partner's place. It's a clear sign they are donezo. And that is exactly what just happened between Allie Luber and James Kennedy. I hope, Allie, run, run, run. The two were snapped, both looking very unhappy at his LA home Friday as she was seen carrying bags out of his place. The major development comes after the Vanderpump Rules alum was arrested last month. We remember in December for misdemeanor domestic violence following an argument and with an unnamed woman. According to the Burbank Police Department arrest log, the woman claimed her boyfriend picked her up and threw her to the ground. Shortly after the arrest, Allie, who was not named as the victim, released a statement saying that she was doing fine, but taking the time she needs and asked people to respect her privacy. Obviously, TMZ, not respecting the privacy. As for James, he said he was going to take some time to focus on himself, adding, "I am committed to making meaningful changes in my life, blah, blah, blah." I'm so tired of hearing James Kennedy's speeches. I'm not even going to read it because fix it and show us or shut the fuck up. I am tired of seeing this man posting in his stories like me and the dog are meditating, or he posted in his stories the other day a picture of him outside of, I think, like an animal vet clinic or animal hospital with like hearts or prayer hands. I'm like, okay, stop trying to garner sympathy. Stop pushing Hippie, aka the dog formerly known as Graham, forward to try to garner some kind of sympathy. Go fix yourself. I'm so tired of these men that are out here, committing DV, and then they're like, look at me, I'm sober. I don't care. I don't care. I just don't care anymore. Okay. I'm tired. I think a lot of people are tired, and just go fix yourself. Log off and go fix yourself. Quit trying to prove something to us. Like by posting something, show us you've changed. So blah, blah, blah. He says he's changing. James Kennedy was spotted helping Allie load her personal items into her car just days after his arrest, which is when TMZ learned the couple was spending time apart. With Allie getting even more of her stuff out of his place, sure looks like it's going to be permanent. I hope it's permanent. I mean, again, this is just TMZ speculating, seeing her move more stuff out, but I'm hoping the best for you, girl. I'm hoping the best for Allie Luber, and hoping James Kennedy just kind of goes away at this point. We don't need to see any more of this, of men like him. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Evelyn says, I just wish James had worked more on his sobriety, received more help on his trauma and anger issues. This did not have to happen this way. He had time and funds. And, I think that's a great point. And I think that he had a lot of enablers and a lot of people that were not looking out for the overall best interest of all the young women that he might hurt. I think he had a lot of people protecting him. And unfortunately, those people have to learn to, they have to live with what they did. Kristen, don't hit your partner, hit the like. Exactly. Yes. Hello, Shirley. Shirley says, hello, Jolene and Lean team. Late to the party. It's super cold here in Albuquerque. Stay warm and positive. Yes, we are staying warm and somewhat positive. And Indiana Girl goes, 15 below. Girl. Ugh. Cammie says he seems very narcissistic. Well, he seems like something, all right. And I'm just not worried about James Kennedy. People are worried about him. I'm more worried about the women that he has hurt and the women he continued to hurt. And also, like, who helped him so that he would be able to do that? Who protected this man rather than doing what was best for society as a whole and getting him off and getting him help? Can we talk about Spencer Pratt? I have to talk about Spencer. And I know this is going to be an unpopular opinion. It just is. It's going to be unpopular, and I get it. And I understand, him and Heidi, they lost their home. They're being very transparent about losing the home. I love that they're being transparent, and he's trying to, rebuild their empire, even though, they probably were house poor. Everything they had was invested in that home, it sounds like, and then they were dropped from their insurance, and it's a horrible situation. But I saw him, and I thought I had the clip for this, but he was doing a live with Bethany Frankel. Here, I gotta show you guys this. And I just think that we got to be really careful in these situations. And I know we all want to cheer and go Spencer and go these things, but at the detriment of what? He's out there saying a lot of things, and if people didn't support him and Heidi, then they're dead to him if they had friends or something. Like, okay, fine, go deal with that with your friends. But it seems like he's targeting any influencer or person that he feels didn't share Heidi's music or something. But again, not everyone. The world doesn't owe you that. I think it's great that people have done that and supported them. But the fact that he's now coming after Alex from Call Her Daddy, a very successful woman, podcaster, whether you like her or not, a big voice, and that he is like, I'm declaring war on her. So let's see if we can listen to what he said. I'm like,
It would really help. Asked the Call Her Daddy, kept tagging her, messaging, and then she wrote to me, we have a lot of people
Let me start over. So he's talking about Alex from Call Her Daddy.
And I asked her to post the song, and I texted her husband, and I was like, hey, it would really help. Asked the Call Her Daddy, kept tagging her, messaging, and then she wrote to me, we have a lot of people displaced at our house. And I'm like, post the song, girl. And so now I ride with Sophia with the F. That's my team now. Sophia with the F. Sophia with the F posted the song, did a dance. So you don't play.
Smart. That was smart of her.
Respectfully, if I keep my platform, I keep being an A-list rich celebrity. She's so FUCKED because I have beef with her now. Like she's gonna be targeted.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. How big is your hit list?
She's on the top. Everybody else, everybody I can think of that was on the edge. She's the last. She's like the only one that chose not to. I
But I
mean,
mean in your life, like not that. How big is your hit list overall?
right now it's only Alex Cooper.
Wow. Wow. Okay. That's going to be interesting in this next.
No, go back. I'll go back to Alex Cooper.
Go back.
And I asked her to post the song, and I texted her husband, and I was like, hey, it would really help. Asked the caller daddy, kept tagging her, messaging, and then she wrote to me, we have a lot of people displaced at our house. And I'm like, post the song, girl. And so now I ride with Sophia with the F. That's my team now. Sophia with the F. Sophia with the F posted the song, did a dance. So you
That
don't
was
play.
smart. That was smart of her.
Respectfully, if I keep my platform, I keep being an A-list rich celebrity. She's so Fuckeb because I have beef with her now. Like she's gonna be targeted.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. How
Is that really what we want? Is that really what we want? This guy out here who was already questionable when it comes to his thoughts and treatment and speaking to women, that we want him like, she's so after going to target. I'm going to target her now. It's like, sir, she just said she had people at her home that was displaced. Everyone's dealing with their own shit. It's not as easy for someone to just share the freaking song. Like, who are you? Who are you to say anything? And this is the problem I have. I know it's so cool and everyone's supposed to be like, yeah, Spencer, who knew in 2025 we'd be listening to Spencer? I'm still not listening to Spencer. I don't care. I hope the best. I hope they're able to rebuild their home and take care of their, I think they have 2 sons. Their sons, great. But I'm not okay with this dude talking to Alex like this when she didn't do shit to him. She gave him an interview. She let him on her platform. She has a very big platform with Call Her Daddy and opened up that. And she seems to be dealing with her own issues when it comes to, the California wildfires. And he's just like, girl, I don't care. Share it. And when I become a rich celebrity again, it's like, first of all, sir, you weren't rich. Clearly, everything was invested in your home. Oops. As even Cordelia was like, She hit the desk thing. She's like, no. I just don't like that energy. And I know it's not popular. And I know people are like, give him a break. It's like, we'll give Alex a break because she's going through it too. I just don't like when men decide they're going to jump up and start like, and Bethany Frankel, who's on your hit list? Ha, this is so funny, your hit list. And he's like, just her, just a woman. Just this very successful woman, Alex Cooper, not Alice Cooper. That's a man, Jolene. Just Alex Cooper, very successful. She's the only one on my hit list. And I'm like, take several seats, Spencer, because I'm still not totally keen to you. Okay. I still got my eyes on you. So Page 6 is reporting on it as well. Spencer Pratt has beef with Call Her Daddy. And he's going to take her down. Shut up. Shut up. It's pretty classic Spencer, but again, I think people are like rewriting history like he's some kind of like hero or something, and he's not. He's still being a dick. He's still calling out successful blonde women, just like he did Lauren Conrad. Now it's Alex Cooper. I want to call her Alice Cooper, but Alex Cooper. So for allegedly refusing to promote Heidi Montag's song, Spencer Pratt has some serious beef with Alex Cooper. The Hills alum shared his negative, and you guys heard it, feelings about the Call Her Daddy podcaster after she allegedly declined to promote his wife Heidi Montag's song. The couple has been raising money with Montag's music after their Pacific Palisades home burned down in the California wildfires earlier this month. I asked Alex to post the song, and I texted her husband, Matt Kaplan, and was like, hey, it would really help. And he's kind of like, I told your husband, I told the man, and he couldn't even get you to. I just don't like this whole interaction. Okay. He brings up her husband, which why? Pratt told Bethany Frankel during a TikTok live Saturday, I keep tagging her, messaging. Well, that's borderline stalking now. But she doesn't have to help you. And you can say, oh, you don't like that, but to openly admit that you are like waging a war on her is pretty gross. The reality star 41 claimed Cooper eventually replied saying, we have a lot of people displaced from the fires at our house. And I'm like, post the song, girl. So again, showing no empathy for her, that she's taking care of people, that she's going through her own trauma with this situation. Just like, post the song. Like you're the only ones. And he keeps claiming when they are able to rebuild, he'll help other people rebuild. I hope that's true. I don't know. I would like to see maybe a history of Spencer's philanthropic efforts of the past. That would be nice. Yes, I told her husband. Exactly, Taylor, like she's a child. It feels entitled. It feels like shut up. Don't come for this woman. Don't come for this woman who's having her own success and dealing with her own shit. Thank you, Kristen. Still a A-list celebrity, sir? When? When, where? When, where, how? Come on now. So Pratt compared the unwell founder 30 to her former Call Her Daddy co-host, Sophia Franklin, who now hosts the Sophia with an F podcast. Now I ride with Sophia with an F. That's my team now, he said. Sophia with an F posted the song, did a dance. All right, well, good for her. Good for her. Oh my God. The Hills' New Beginning star went on to share his disdain for Cooper, who he claimed was the only one who chose to not support Montag's music. Respectfully, if I keep my platform and I keep being an A-list rich celebrity, you weren't rich, you're house poor. We gotta figure out, we gotta differentiate between that. She's so fucked. Why threaten her? What's the point? No, don't let men do this. Like, seriously, I see so many women making excuses for him too. Don't let him do this. This is bullshit. Shut up. You have a lot of support right now. You have a lot of eyes on you. A lot of opportunities are going to open up for you. And this is how you choose to spend the time instead of being grateful for what you got. You're calling out a successful woman who's dealing with her own shit and saying you're going to take her down and that she's fucked. So the minute you get a little bit of power back, you're just back to being a dickhead, which works for reality TV, but this is real life. The fires are real life. And we don't need this bleeding over into real life. So I don't like that. And I know that people are like, yay, Spencer, he's so great. Okay. This doesn't seem very great. If this was my husband, I'd be like, ew, gross, shut up. He'd go in the corner. No PS5. No PS5 for you. Corner time. All right. He added that Cooper is at the top of his hit list. A hit list? A hit list? That's gross. A hit list of women sounds very incel. Sounds very weirdly school shooter gross. No, thank you. No, thank you. A rep for Cooper did not immediately respond to Page Six's request for comment. Okay. Pratt encouraged fans to stream Montag's song, which a lot of people did. It put her in #1, like that album Superficial, I think #1 in, I don't even remember how many countries, but a lot of countries. So be grateful for the people that did help, sir. And you were on Call Her Daddy, and she opened her platform up to you. I mean, what more do you want? Pratt has been on a mission to encourage fans and celebrities to stream Superficial, which they did. An outpouring of support on social media, including from reality stars, helped Montag reach #1 on the iTunes charts. In addition to her pop resurgence, Pratt revealed that he and Montag 38 have already raked in thousands of dollars on TikTok after losing their family. Well, how great for you. So many people have not been able to do that. So many people aren't celebrities and don't have the platform and don't have the amount of followers you have and aren't able to do that. So maybe you want to push a little bit that way. I made like $4,000 on TikTok this week. Is this really what you're saying? But on this week, but on TikTok Live, where people can just give to me direct, I think I made about $20,000. He told Variety. Well, you're doing fine. You're okay. You're fine. How much do you need? I mean, I'm going to go in the comments, but am I being ridiculous here? Because everywhere I look, everyone's like, yay, Spencer. And I'm like, dude, he's a prick. He's still acting like a prick. The only one. Ha, Kiki says. Indiana Girl Jewel says, I think they both need to stay off TikTok for a while. Not everything needs to be put on social media. Well, I think they have to because that's how they make their money. And I get it. I get that you got to do that. I don't begrudge you at all for doing that. But taking down a woman for what? For what? When you have so much support, I don't like it. It's gross. Evelyn said Spencer always had an ego. His recent popularity seems to have gone to his head. So he thinks everyone should do what he says. Yeah. No, thank you. Silly Goose says not smart to go after Alex. Hopefully people wake up and are like, no, dude, you don't have to do all this. You don't have to take down this successful woman and put her on a hit list and say she's fucked just because she didn't do everything you wanted her to do. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy that this man thinks that because this woman didn't do exactly what he told her to, he can then use his platform to harass her and threaten her. That's insane. Taylor says, I bet Alex Cooper could afford to rebuild his house. Maybe. Witness says, LOL, wow, fame and then no fame and then fame makes them just claw harder to keep control. Weird cycle, Spence. You think it would create more like humility, more, gratefulness that he is able to, in a week or a day, make $20,000. That's not normal. People aren't able to do that. You're very lucky. Kathy said, I totally agree I did not expect anyone to agree with me because it seems like my algorithm is just pushing all this. And I'm thinking, and I'm doubting myself. And I'm like, no, I don't like this reaction he's having. But everyone's like, he's great. He's gone through so much. Well, he's not the only one. And that doesn't mean you get to go boss around women and go and harass them. Shine says, my family bought their first home condo with a new baby, and fire insurance dropped the complex right after they bought a couple years ago. Their payment went up $1,300 a month just for fire insurance plus HOA. Why isn't Spencer using this platform and stuff to then go after the insurance companies? I think I saw that he was like gonna sue the city or something. But what about the insurance companies that dropped you? What about, did you get your premium back? Did you get any money back? Did any of these people? There's bigger issues here than just going after Alex Cooper, going after a woman you're just probably jealous of, Shine says maybe he should get financial advice from Jax. Maybe it's Jax energy. He's just like a Jax, you guys. I mean, maybe not as disgusting as Jax, but this is Jaxy behavior. Allie says, I hope he builds a modest home away from all of these. Yeah, maybe build something that is a little more affordable for you and not so ostentatious, and maybe where you're not house poor, even though I know that, the way the economy and the country is right now, a lot of people are sitting. But don't pretend you're like some rich A-list celebrity when you're literally online, telling us that you don't got it like that. But then in the next breath, you're like, when I'm rich again. I'm sorry, what? Kat says, he's kind of gross, but I have a feeling that 50% of it is an act. He knows making people angry and having beef gets people talking. He's not wrong. I don't like it though. I get the talking and the beef and all that, but why is he always coming for women? Why is he always coming for a woman like that? Why doesn't he go after some dudes? Okay, mix it up a little bit. I'm tired of this. This might have worked in the early 2000s on the hills and stuff, but times are different now. Hello, Missy in snowy Florida. Oh, it's not snowy. Susan says, obviously losing all his crystals is his problem. He's just not himself without that. Maybe he needs to put his yoni egg back in. I don't know. I think they must have. Beach says, I guess the Zen crystals he was hawking before didn't quite bring in the bucks. Allie says he needs to spend less on crystals and more on common sense and financial literacy. Silly Goose says, yeah, if you're an A-list, where's your emergency fund? If you two are this short on cash, you might have to get a job. And I get that your job is social media and things, but to just calling her out like that and saying you have a hit list and that she's fucked, like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Focus on your family, rebuilding your home instead of attacking women. Be grateful for the people that did support you, and be so grateful that you exist on a privileged level where you can just make 20 G's. And remember, you're making that off of, other people, off of people's support, people watching you, following you, streaming your songs and shit. So yeah, there's enough antagonizing men in this country. I'm not ready to get on the yay, Spencer Pratt. Go figure it out, sir. But without having to drag down a successful woman. Mary Kate, shout out to Mary Kate and Ashley. Mary Kate says, he was always an arrogant brat. Will never change. Can't believe anyone is falling for his poor me. Everyone is suffering. Everyone is suffering. But to him, it's just them. And I get, like, when you're in that situation, it is just, you're like, first, I have to feed my family. First, I got to get the roof over my son's head my way. I totally get it. But you can do that in a way where you're not attacking Alex and threatening her. It's just gross. It's gross. Beach said he's either coming for accomplished women or selling them. Sorry, Heidi. I mean, unfortunately. Yep. Graphics with the joke coming in. Spencer Pratt. More like Spencer Brat. Right. So didn't like that. I'm glad I can talk to you guys about this, because everywhere you look, it's like, he's the best. He's the best. But it's like, sir, clearly people are being very kind and very generous with you, and you're extremely lucky. So let's just sit and appreciate that. Keep the grind going, but without having to threaten and take down a woman who gave you a platform. Spencer, because this is another TMZ story. Spencer raking in the dough for recovery. Supporters have sent thousands. I'm telling you, I'm just calling it now. There's going to be a backlash to this. Because if he is getting this much help, this much support, and that's still how he's acting, and I get that he's got this persona, and I get that he does it on reality shows and stuff, but this is real world shit. These fires are real. The people that are affected are many. Alex being one of them, having displaced people at her home, as she told him, and he keeps harassing her. And it just feels like you guys are going to give and give and give, and then what? And then he's just still going to be an asshole? Spencer Pratt is getting a lot of help from fans after the house he shares with Heidi burned to the ground. And he revealed how much monetary help in a new interview. So he's telling us the amount. He's saying that he's going to, once he can rebuild his home, he's going to help people. But hold him to that, because he keeps telling us that. But we'd like to see that, you know, because you're very privileged and you're very lucky in this situation. There's a lot of people, and they don't know what they're going to do. They don't know how they're going to rebuild. They don't know where they're going to go. The reality TV star sat down with Variety Saturday. I mean, he's getting on all the big podcasts and all the big publications, like media. He's, they're looking at him and Heidi like media darlings again. He talked about the generosity of his fans, saying he's gotten 20K on TikTok Live, where fans can donate directly to him over the past week. As you know, Spencer reached out to fans for money after his house burned down, encouraging them to stream Heidi's music, which I think is fine. And I love that people did that. Though he told Variety he now knows streaming isn't super lucrative, and most artists make money on touring and merchandise. However, Spencer Pratt says all the exposure is really good for future opportunities. That's what I'm saying. You're going to get future opportunities. It opened the door for them to get so many opportunities, which is amazing to come out of such a tragic thing, because I feel for them. I mean, it's horrible losing your home, but you're not the only one. And people have been so gracious and so grateful, and been so gracious and so generous, and now, being a little grateful, less attacky on women who don't do what you say, and more grateful. So he says they're both hopeful to parlay the buzz into more money, and you will be able to. I truly believe that. By the way, Pratt hasn't just made 20K. He also made $4,000 from people watching his content on TikTok, though he says it's better to get the money directly from followers because then he's not reliant on the social media algorithm. Pratt got emotional during an interview with us last week when he realized that his family is starting from zero. And he says that while many have said he can start over because he's rich, he's trying to explain that everything he and Heidi had was tied up in the house. Heidi also talked about dealing with the fire, getting emotional after losing the house. Pratt ended his interview with Variety by saying he's so appreciative for all the support they've received, and he hopes to help others when he and Heidi ultimately recover. And I hope he does. So, and they say Spencer's got to be happy TikTok isn't shutting down. So there's more opportunities for him to make more money. Thank you, Chickenhead PK, Dorkface. Neely for the super chat says he's a jerk. I feel bad for the poor people in Altadena. Yeah. He's coming off like a jerk. Red Wolf says, if he claims to be so famous, why doesn't he have savings in the bank? He says it's all tied up in the house. Beach says it's giving scammer. We'll have to watch it. We'll have to watch it, you guys, because something tells me in the future people will have certain opinions about this, especially if this kind of attitude continues. And it's similar to behavior he has shown in the past. So hopefully he stops attacking women like Alex Cooper and just appreciates what he has. So thank you guys for sounding off regarding that. No, unfortunately, they were a part of the people that lost their insurance, which I think is so criminal. And more people need to be talking about that, how insurance companies can just decide after you pay all these premiums and you've given so much to these insurance companies, they're just like, no, we're not gonna insure you anymore. And you're like, I'm sorry? That's even if you live in a place that's prone to fire or hurricanes or tornadoes or floods, that's why you need the insurance. We shouldn't have these insurance companies just deciding, because all they're deciding is, oh, it's become too much of a risk. And so we don't want to pay for that. But you've paid them every month, and you've paid them your premium and your premiums. And yet, what was that for? You only have insurance because if something like this happens, you don't want to be stuck like Heidi and Spencer and so many are, where you've lost everything now because nothing is insured and you don't know how you're going to get the shit back, because most people can't just rebuild their home. Most of us, if that would happen and the insurance company would drop us, we would be like, what are we supposed to do? You literally are starting over from zero, like he's saying here. So the true enemy, the true person that should be fucked, the true person you should be going after are these insurance companies. But you always see, in these situations, rather than going after the true problem, the true systemic issue, you see so much of the time it fall on one individual or someone that is just, it's easier to kind of kick at. And it was easier to just pick out Alex Cooper. Obviously, her name is going to draw a lot of media, a lot of attention. He's going after, this very successful woman rather than going after the insurance company that they've done more harm to than Alex not being able to share Heidi's song. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, silly goose. That's the point of insurance. So the fact that we live in a country where insurance companies can go, oh, the risk is getting too much, we're going to drop you. And you're like, I'm sorry, but I paid, then give me all my money back. Give me all my money back. The fact that we live in a place where these insurance companies are making huge amounts of money off not insuring us, just taking our money and then going, oh, we don't cover that. Oh, we're going to drop you. Like, that's criminal. That's the part he should be. It's displaced anger. Exactly, Evelyn. Go focus it on something that will actually incite change. And you have a platform to do that. People are very upset. So attacking Alex Cooper because she doesn't play Heidi's song is the least of your worries, when you could use this platform to go after the insurance company. Go try to get your money back. Help the world by doing that. Help the entire country. Shine says State Farm pays celebs and athletes millions in advertising, but bailed out of California. Isn't that interesting? Twisted Life says my parents live in a flood zone. They couldn't get flood insurance until they dug the creek out. Then it was required, but the creek didn't flood anymore. It's a scam. It's the scammiest scam that ever scammed. But those are the institutions. Those are the systems that you should focus, attacking or being on your shit list or your hit list. It shouldn't be just some random woman that didn't do what you wanted her to do. That to me is weird and yucky. Beach says, I heard a lot of what State Farm had done was to change the wording, fine print, to say wildfires rather than the word fire, and didn't change people's premiums. So many had no idea. And that should be that. I mean, that is not only morally corrupt, the morally corrupt Faye Resnick, but that should be, they should not be able to do that by law. You'd think there'd be some protections, some regulation to help Americans in this situation. Well, where are our protections? Who's there to regulate these insurance systems? Could it be that their campaign finance, are they donors to both parties and so we're screwed? I don't know. Right? Yanni says capitalism is always on my shit list. That's the issue here, Spencer, not Alex Cooper. Trish, thank you so much. Yes, 221 watchers. We need you to hit that like button, please. It's a free way to support a lady saying some stuff. Silly Goose says, how are we supposed to be putting up with this nonsense over and over? Exactly. Graphics says, I had a neighbor that was in their apartment before us, and they were a Sandy displacement. And Hurricane Sandy, they were still waiting for money to rebuild 2016. They finally moved 2018 back into a house. Wow. Oh, you guys. But just situations like this where you see clearly, like Evelyn said, this displaced anger and him calling out Alex. And I'm like, sir, there are other people you could be calling out and using your platform. Be grateful and call out the right people. Okay. I'm tired of them using like women or one successful woman as like a scapegoat for all your problems and issues. She is not the problem. But you could start suing State Farm I wish they would start suing these insurance companies. Screw them. Screw them. Okay. Let's speaking of people who are screwed, or well, no, that's not necessarily a good transition. We had another Bravo Hot Mic podcast episode drop, and it is with Kristen, you guys. Kristen sat down, let me pull it up here, with the Alex Baskin Robbins. And let me pull that up. Bravo Hot Mic. Kristen Doute from the Valley, formerly of Vanderpump Rules. 3 hours ago, the episode dropped. I think we'll kind of go over 13 minutes of that, where she spills some information about Jax and the Toms. And so she sat down with, her and Luke sat down. The pregnant Kristen Doute sat down with Alex Baskin Robbins and talked about things in Bravo land. So let's take a look and see what our bestest best friend Alex Baskin Robbins has to ask Kristen about things in the Valley and Vanderpump Rules. You guys give me a thumbs up in the chat as soon as you can hear the audio on this. I'm just going to speed it up just to like 1.2. And let's take a listen, and I'll be stopping to provide a little commentary. 242 watching. Hit that like, you guys. See if we can get 240 likes.
I want to talk about Brittany and Jax. Obviously, yeah, we have to go there. Obviously, that's been kicked up a bunch recently.
I mean, every day. Yesterday, this morning.
Yeah. In part by the conversations that I had with each of them here, which is like, sort of a preview of the show that we're going to unleash. But I know you have really strong feelings because you've been there for Brittany through all of this.
Yeah.
So tell me about your response, your reaction to some of the things that Jax said about Brittany trying to get back together, about how he's a changed person. What's your point of view, Kristen Doute?
It's just, it's typical Jax. It's the same Jax that I've known 17 years. It's the same Jax that the audience has watched on TV for the last 12 plus years. It's the Jax that starts with this much truth. Example on this podcast, sitting right here. He said, Brittany had like texted me to like come over or something, or to hang out. There was truth to that. She was trying to give him a chance. She was trying to see the brighter side of things. And it was like within a minute, he was like, hey, and then Brittany asked me to have drinks. Brittany asked me to come over for dinner. Brittany, and he just kept building this lie, because the way Jax works, if everyone hasn't figured this out, the truth is just never juicy enough for him. So he has to make it a little bit bigger. And he admits this about himself. And he knows that this is true. So all of a sudden ends up, Brittany's texting him to hook up. Have you ever heard Brittany Cartwright in her life say, hey, you want to come over for drinks? Brittany doesn't have drinks. Brittany does shots of tequila when she wants to get backed up, and that's it. So it's just like, why do you have to lie over something so small? And every time she gives Jax a chance, he ruins it doing stuff like that. And then they're back at the bottom. And then things that have even happened over the last 48 hours. I mean, he can't get out of his own way. I mean, I was at Brittany's yesterday we were shooting something. And while we're in glam, I get a text from Jax. The same exact text I got from him maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. Hey, so I know I've asked you this before, but like, do you have a therapist you could recommend? Because what, Jax? Don't bullshit somebody who knows this world very well. And then when he also was on this podcast saying like, he's a mental health advocate. Who the hell do you think you are? I can't take anything that comes out of his mouth.
So Kristen just dragging Jax with the truth. I mean, it's true. It's the truth. It's true. It's like, wasn't that Vicky at BravoCon where she's like, it's true. It's true. It's the truth. It's true. It's true. All of this is the truth. Jax is like the damn devil over here. And he has a very strange relationship with the truth. A very dysfunctional relationship.
Only thing that he said that was of any truth is that he's verbally abusive.
Kristen says it. She said it. She goes, only thing he said that is true is that he is verbally abusive. So Kristen talks in this podcast, in this interview about Jax's verbal abuse towards Brittany. And now we say it.
But it seems like this is a different version of Brittany. And so she has much more conviction.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, I think that's, clear by what she said publicly, but also we see that across the second season of The Valley.
Oh, yeah.
And because her friends, obviously, with you leading the charge, as well as Zach and others, are trying to prop her up, and they want to make sure that she doesn't fall back into, just getting back together with Jax because she thinks that's what she's supposed to do.
For sure.
And
I mean, Cruz has so much to do with that. I think Cruz was the major, as he would be, because she's the best mother. Like, I look up to her in so many ways, like becoming a mother myself. Cruz is everything to her. And Cruz has some learning challenges, as we know. So he requires more attention, a little more work. So Brittany drops everything for that little boy. And is Jax a good dad? Of course he is. But can Jax get out of his own way in order to be a good dad first and foremost? That's the tricky part. Because Jax's anger issues and his need for control over Brittany's life and Brittany's choices and decisions that she makes, aside from Cruz, are still getting in the way of them being able to have a healthy co-parenting relationship. But
why LA women aren't going to the gym?
Why we need this ad right now, but here we are. Okay.
now not only become this strong mama bear, she's also like, oh, no. I get to be Brittany too. Like, I get to go out and date. I get to be with someone one day who's going to treat me with respect the way that I deserve it to. And I get to be happy, which thank God for that.
If I can play devil's advocate just a little bit.
Don't,
with,
Luke.
Jack. So,
Luke, we don't need this. We don't need a devil's advocate. When did the devil need an advocate? The devil's got enough advocates. Shut up.
I've only known him a couple of years.
So you don't really know what you're talking about?
I'm much closer with Brittany.
So why are you even saying it?
I think I made that apparent this season.
All right. So why be the advocate to the devil who's hurting someone you're closer to?
And I think he is showing more than I've seen.
Okay, but that's still hardly any, and you've only been here a couple years, and him just doing the minimal shouldn't get any praise. He's like 80 years old.
Out of him actually, calling himself out, being more.
That's what he's always done. He pretends to be self-aware and he hides behind that. Like, I know I'm working on it, but he's always working on it. And he's going to be working on it until he's dead and gone and buried. And his tombstone's going to say, I'm working on it, but he never worked on it. So stop it. Stop it, Beardo.
Aware of how he is, because all I ever saw between him and Brittany was him being a douchebag too.
So why be his advocate? He's a douchebag. Your soon-to-be wife, the mother of your future child, is saying he's verbally abusive. Verbally abusive men and people don't need more people to stick up for them.
Or him just being an asshole. He was never sweet on her since I've been around. And now, he says he goes out of his way for her, and it just sad it took him this long.
He's not going out. He's just saying these things. That's what Jax does. He's a bullshitter. He's lying. Luke, it's stuck in your beard. His bullshit is stuck in your beard. Stop it. Exactly. He did this with Sandoval too. Evelyn says, why is Luke being a Jack apologist? Like, we don't need it. Why can't we sit here and criticize this man's behavior, which has been shown to us over and over on television, without some other guy rolling up like, I don't really know what I'm talking about. I don't really know the guy. But I'd like to say something on his behalf. For what? For what? It's so stupid. Thank you. Hello, artists. Good to see you, Artist Fleetwood. Thank you for the super chat. Says, I'm late. I was outside here in the pound handle of Florida playing in the snow. I can't believe you guys have snow. We have about 6 inches. Is that normal? 6 inches so far. I'm right outside of Pensacola in a little town called Pace. Is that, you guys have snow? My goodness, 6 inches. Jeez. Holy crap. Well, thank you, artists, and have fun playing in the snow. It'll melt soon, though, right?
To realize that's what you have to do for a healthy relationship, right? So him recognizing that, he's a step in the right direction.
It's not. He did this when he was with Stassi. He did this when he was with every single person we've seen him be with. He pretends like he knows. This relationship with Brittany, he went on like a PR campaign during Sandoval, on all the podcasts, how Brittany saved him. And he is the man he is because of Brittany. This bullshit, and how he realizes that. And we called it over here. We said, when a man does this and puts the onus on the woman and like, dude, save yourself. You are a grown elderly man. Save yourself. It is not on us women to fix your ass. Okay. And I knew it was bullshit. People are like, Jax, he's changed. He's not changed. No one holds him accountable because there's always going to be some dude in a beard who just showed up to the party who's going to make excuses for him.
Yeah, I mean, I think
it's a step.
Even Alex Baskin Robbins is like, okay, well, that really wasn't anything. And I'm problematic myself, being Alex Baskin Robbins, but even I know that that didn't help. Okay. Everything you said just made us all dumber.
It's not, a step of a marathon.
I think
This Luke guy, I'm telling you, I hope the best for Kristen, but I got my eye on you, sir.
the broken part, though, like, it's kind of what I'm tired of seeing from.
What happened to, like, if you don't know what you're talking about and you can't give more perspective, your wife has all the experience with them, or your girlfriend, Kristen, has all the experience with them. So just shut up. Just shut up and say what Kristen said. I think that's the smartest thing you can do, to say, I haven't been in it as long, but Kristen, everything she said, on point. Were you just talking to, like, hear yourself talk at this point? Because you literally said you just showed up to the party.
From Jax, also what I'm tired of seeing, even from like my friends or ex-friends that are in reality on Vanderpump or The Valley. It's like this victim mentality of like, I'm so broken and I'm so down. Why isn't everyone just like going easier on me? Because I will tell you from my own perspective, what changed me and what made me step up and take responsibility for my own actions and the words that came out of my mouth was 10 years ago, and me making a really big mistake and everyone going, no, we're not going to give you that opportunity. In fact, we're done talking to you. And I had to prove myself through actions over time to be led in the good graces of the people that I wanted in my life and that wanted me in theirs. And I had to literally prove it. So for anyone, Jack specifically, to keep talking about being a work in progress and not doing anything about it, I think is what I'm tired of, and definitely what Brittany's tired of.
You referred to even the past 48 hours developments with Jax and Brittany, and tell me what you mean by that.
Yeah, I mean, without getting into like total detail, of course, it was just things like Brittany giving Jax more than an inch and saying, okay, you want to come to this thing for cruise. You want to come. Okay, great. Then you have to be at the house at this time. We have to be at this place at this time. And Jack's just kind of taking his time, doing what he wants, not coming there on time, being in a terrible mood. Do I think Jax has depression issues? Of course. Is that horrible and very difficult for him? Absolutely. You got to get it together for the sake of your child. You cannot take it out on the mother of your child. Let it go until you get home when you can figure it out. He took it out on Brittany. And then it's like her phone's attached to the car, and then someone texts her that he doesn't like. You know what? You're divorced. Like, you're going through a divorce. You're doing what you do. She's doing what she does. And the way that he speaks to her and the abusive language that he uses, it all happened all over again. And Cruz is in the car. And then, as everyone saw on TMZ, he was so in such a bad mood and in a bad place. He then gets in a little bit of a fender bender, and he's yelling, being explicit with this person because he just has these anger issues. So it was like, it never stops. It never stops. Do I think at some point he needs to give himself some grace? And I do. I think that's part of the healing process, is say, stop hating yourself so much.
I honestly will disagree. I'll say he doesn't hate himself enough. He doesn't hold himself accountable. Doesn't dislike his behavior enough. He's not disgusted with himself enough. So give people grace. Don't give yourself any grace yet. You should drag yourself a little more. That could help. That's just my opinion, you guys. That's just me being silly.
Much. If he stops hating himself, he'll be able to like ease up on that
He doesn't hate himself.
anxiety. He has to forgive himself, but he also has to do the work.
You can't, if you're not sorry, you can't forgive yourself. If you've done nothing, you can't forgive yourself. Okay. I get what she's saying.
And he's got to give Brittany some space. He can't, it's like he has this need to.
Could it be controlling? Could it be the verbal abuser is also controlling? What?
Control.
What?
And he's got to let that go.
But it also goes back to the related point that you made, that you learned through your struggle, which is just that you have to put in the work and other people aren't on your timeline.
Exactly.
And that's really hard.
And it's not the like, see, look what I did.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't I deserve a pat on the back?
Right.
You don't deserve a pat on the back. You have to be able to give yourself that pat on the back and go, I know that I worked really hard. It's up to people if they want to forgive you.
Yeah.
And they might not ever. They might say, I don't want you in my life. It's going to be okay.
Yeah.
It's going to hurt and it's going to be really difficult for a minute, but it's going to be fine.
So I think this is something. So I've done some therapy.
Oh God, now I gotta hear from Luke again. Just like, why is he even there? I get he's on the show, but he doesn't have the history with these people. If we were talking about him and Kristen, but like, okay, go ahead.
Recently, I've been in. I do have some ups and downs. And,
No way.
And I think when I get to a bad place, it's because my inner dialogue, like I'm talking to myself in a way I would never talk to someone else. And I think that may be something that's going on with Jax, that he's just so hard on himself. And
Yeah. He's just a fucking asshole. And he's been like that a long time. And he's a selfish, abusive prick. I don't care how his inner child talks to himself. That's on him to go fix. But okay, thank you, Luke. Thank you. He's not done yet.
He's like, I'm stupid, I'm this, I'm that, and saying all these things, and it just gets him wound up. And then,
Notice how we're focused more on Jax and why he behaves this way than on like, are you okay, Brittany? Are you okay, Cruz? We're trying more to figure out Jax than Jax is trying to figure out Jax. Like, that's a problem.
Straw that breaks camel's back could be anyone at any time. And he was spending the most time around Brittany, so she was always getting the brunt of it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Luke. That provided nothing to the conversation. Thank you.
I think that's really tough. And then I think it's also magnified when you're, on a television show and
of course,
people are weighing. That's all really hard.
Yeah,
for sure. And Jax, I mean, self-admittedly, he feels this need that is not, no one else has said, Jax, we need you to perform, if you will.
Yeah.
He feels the need to always be the center of attention, and I think that's where like the lying comes from, which he has also admitted. It's like that much.
I love how this guy is literally admitted to like, yeah, I'm horrible. I lie. I cheat. I'm abusive. I'm a fucker. And people are just like, we should have him on television. And then we should find ways to empathize with him. Yeah. But not ask him to change his behavior. Maybe he could be nicer to himself, talk to himself nicer. And then maybe, hopefully, possibly one day he'll learn to talk nicer to us. Yeah. That sounds about right. No, take away his opportunity. Send him to hell. Put him on pause. All right? And then maybe we'll see some change. He's not hitting rock bottom like nothing. Evelyn says Jax doesn't want to do any of the work. Why should he? He's got all these people, making excuses for him because he can go out, get attention from women or fans and boost his ego. This is easy. It's easier than doing the work. Exactly.
Truth wasn't cool enough or interesting enough. But if I raise the stakes, it's going to be a way cooler story that people are going to be more interested in. But it's like, sometimes it's cool to just be chill.
Yeah.
And I've even tried to explain it to him in a way of like, if you don't want a comeback story for yourself in this exact moment, people love a good comeback story.
Right.
Your friends, we want to see you succeed. I know he said on your podcast, like, Brittany wants me to fail. What good would that do her?
Yeah.
It makes her life so much more difficult when Jax fails, the better. I tell him all the time, as angry as I told him this whole summer long, as angry as I am and was at him, I want him to succeed because then Cruz has a happy father.
Yeah.
Then Brittany has someone happy to co-parent with. Jax's life is better. Brittany's life is better. Cruz's upbringing.
Honestly, I'll just say it. And this might seem cold, but Brittany and Cruz's life will be infinitely better if he stays away from them when he's not willing to change these toxic traits about himself. Him being verbally abusive to the mother of his child in front of his child, they don't need him. They don't need him. So everyone like, I just hope he gets better. No, cut him out. Bye. You're just hurting. You're just hurting people. You being so selfish up in Canada, doing God knows what, allegedly, okay, with at these appearances and stuff. It's like, sir, you're too old for this. Okay, do you not watch The Pit, which is an excellent show on Max, by the way? You can't be doing cocaine in your 80s. Are you crazy? That is a young person's drug. If even doing it at all. Come on, sir. We can't be snorty buddies. You've had nose jobs. I had a nose job. You can't snort anything after your nose job. That's why you have to keep getting other ones. Allegedly, obviously, we don't know anything that we're saying or that we're talking about. But this like selfish prick to like, it'll be better if he's there for them. No, not like this. It'd be better if he's gone, fixes his ass, and then comes back. Not like this. Not like this. I'm just so tired of having to hear about these toxic dudes. And well, maybe, I'm just rooting for him. Well, he's not even rooting for himself. So you're wasting your time. No offense, all offense, but you're wasting your time. Yeah, Shine. Alex Baskin-Robbins. It's hard for Jax. Oh, poor Jax. Poor Jax. He was given everything. Born beautiful, able to be a model, and then just continued to manipulate, take advantage of people, lie to people, be abusive to people, cheat on people, break their trust. Poor guy. That poor guy. That poor guy. Anna says, every season of VPR, Jax would spend the finale being honest and truth dump on people just to do it all again the next season. Because it's just words to him. He doesn't mean any of the things. He doesn't give a shit. He doesn't care about anybody but himself. He can say whatever he wants to say, but it means nothing if you don't see action behind it. Then they are just words. Exactly the way he's treating the words is exactly what he means by the words. Nothing. With no importance, no substance, no nothing. You can't do pasta in this economy. You really can't. Okay? And hopefully you have super good health care and stuff and justice for the Canadians. It's not the 70s. He can't be just putting the pasta. He can't be just Alfredoing all over the place. Are you crazy? Immortal Geo says, I thought Kristen was acting like Jax on the Valley with how she treated Michelle, but that's my opinion. I'm like, which one's Michelle again? I feel like the Valley's been on a break for too long. I'm like, which one's Michelle? Oh, the one that was married to Jesse? Is that Michelle? Graphic says, if you ever see me say anything positive about Jax, please call the authorities because I've lost my mind or I've been kidnapped. Yep. Lisa says, poor grown man can't take accountability for his repeated actions that continue to repeatedly hurt people. Evelyn says, I feel like something will happen to Jax, a chronic illness, an accident, or something, and he will be forced to change. Often life takes care of things. I don't know. We'll see.
Is better. Everyone wins if Jax succeeds.
I just want to tell you that
everyone wins if Jax succeeds. Okay.
Has said that out loud that she really wants.
Jax's life is better. Brittany's life is better. Cruz's upbringing is better. Everyone wins if Jax succeeds.
Yeah, Brittany has said that out loud that she really wants Jax to take those steps because it'll help everything.
Yeah,
best thing possible for Cruz. And it all comes down to Cruz. Jax talks about Cruz too. It's like if he can't do it for himself, do it for your son.
When if Jax starts focusing on himself and things that make him actually happy, things like projects, whether maybe it's the bar, I don't know, just things that
the bar, it's a tent. It's a tent behind a bar. He doesn't have a bar. He has a tent. Can we stop lying to this man? He doesn't have a bar. He doesn't have a business. He's not successful. He has a tent in the back. It's literally a tent in the alley. It's the back room tent bar, I guess. He has rented space where they allowed him, like Tent City. He has a homeless shelter. Like a tent does not a business make unless it's a circus. Does he have a circus? And even those tents are a lot nicer than the tent he has. So can we stop lying and saying that this man has a legitimate bar when he does not?
Start little successes in life. I mean, I know
he's had so much success. He was on a very popular television show. He was a model before that. He was born with this face and then he got all the nose jobs and stuff. But I mean, he's been given every advantage, privilege you can think of. And still here we are. He just needs a win.
Works for me. Like it's not always the greatest thing to associate your happiness with success, but if you have little wins that are just for you,
it make you feel good about yourself.
Yeah. If it's stuff with the gym.
He keeps being offered more and more projects and being on TV. Like you're feeding into this narcissistic, abusive asshole. He doesn't need any more wins. He needs to go get well. He needs to take this shit seriously. He doesn't need to be handed more things or lied to and told, you're doing a really good job with your tent bar. Yay. No, literally, I got a tent in my garage. I could go put it up in front of property, on my property, I guess, or I could ask my neighbors if I could rent a little bit of space and then put a table in there, occasionally serve a lean cuisine and be like, I have a restaurant. People come here. I have a restaurant. And you're like, no, bitch, you have a tent on someone else's property. You don't own shit. You what?
Him, or if it's stuff with his bar, or if it's like another little project, or it's like making his new condo look really awesome.
Making his new condo look really awesome.
Those are all small wins that just kind of like build up your self-esteem rather than your ego.
Grow up. He needs to grow up. Sir, you have a whole ass child. Grow up.
Oh.
So you mentioned offhandedly, and I'm not going to let you get away with it without digging into this a little bit, that there are other people in the Vanderpump world and in the Valley world that also play the self-victimization game. Who?
Oh, I mean, at one point or another,
Tom Sandoval,
Gina, Lala for sure.
Oh, Kristen, drag her. Oh, shit. Lala's about to get activated. Oh my God. We know that this feud, Lala got mad at Kristen because we remember Zach Peters' show. I was there interviewing. Zach was interviewing and I was helping out. I think I asked a couple questions. Gigi from Shaws of Sunset. And Gigi says, I don't even remember what Gigi said, but something, Lala didn't like it. It hit the, page 6 and stuff. And Lala hasn't liked her since. Oh, shit.
They not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
Tell her what she needs to know, Kristen. Tell her. I'm more here for this than Jax. I'm over Jax. Jax isn't changing. Like he's old and he's not going to change. And people keep babying him. But let's see where this goes.
In the Valley world that also play the self-victimization game. Who?
Oh, I mean, at one point or another, Sheena, Lala for sure, Tom Sandoval. I think not Tom Schwartz. I think Katie does.
Also, can we please stop? Kristen, I like you, but please stop with this protecting Tom Schwartz. You guys all do this. You baby him like he's a literal fetus. Like you guys are just like, can I be gentle with him? It's like he is just as old as Jax and Tom Sandoval and just as problematic in that sense. Okay. And makes himself the victim. Please stop babying Tom Schwartz and acting like he is some kind of gosh darn hero because he says the fucked up things with a quiet, sweeter voice. I'm like, I don't know. Goofy. Like Lala said a long time ago, fingers in my mouth, nervous, fingers in my mouth. When Lala had that little bit of clarity she had for like a minute, we were like, yeah, Lala. And then we're like, oh no, she went right back. Quit protecting him. Like he sucks too.
Does not do that anymore. I think Katie really owns her stuff. I think on the Valley, we saw that a lot from Jesse in the first season. I'm excited for people to see a shift in Jesse in season 2. I mean, there's no mistake. Like I've been much more friendly with Jesse. Like it's been seen a little bit. And there's a reason for that. We were not okay last summer. And I have known Jesse for quite a while, but we were never really close. And I can consider him a friend now for sure. But he had to do a lot of work. But season 1 of The Valley, everyone saw it just.
Okay, well then they kind of but there's another clip I want to show you guys. But yes, Trixie, say it louder for those in the back. Trixie says, in hindsight, all women had a season, speaking of Vanderpump Rules, where they were treated as a villain. Can anyone name a season when one of the boys was held accountable for more than 5 minutes? No, they were all pacified. They were all like, oh, you have to forgive Tom Sandoval. It's like he just lied and fucked Raquel yesterday. We don't know. And he's not even sorry. And he's still lying. He's blaming Ariana. Same thing with Jax. It was more Kristen took the blame than Jax took the blame. Same with Tom Schwartz. It was never Tom Schwartz and his behavior was always mean old Katie. Ugh.
Have some remorse. Have some sensitivity.
None of them. Oh God. Oh God. Never more than 5 minutes. Applause. All the applause emojis for Trixie. Never. Didn't happen. Nope. Never held accountable for more than 5 damn minutes. And Lauren from Utah is going to have something to say about, like Evelyn is saying, Kristen's truth telling with the name. When she talked about Lala, She wasn't lying. Osflagro says LVP had a mothering leadership role, but possibly toxic. Randy, you know. Yeah. I mean, her and Schwartz, that was a weird little relationship, whatever. I still don't really know what that was. And it was still kind of yucky. And we know that LVP, you know, I think she's got a lot of internalized misogyny she's never dealt with. And so she was a lot more protective of the guys and a lot more forgiving of them. Like, boys, oh, boys will be boys. Oh, darling, you know how the boys are. And she held the women to a much higher standard. Hence why she still hates Kristen to this day, when all these dudes have said worse shit to her and to her face. The way Tom Sandoval talked to her, the way Jax has talked to her, the way, I mean, worse than Kristen has ever. Beach says we should start a he-woman reality man haters club, or maybe we have one here. I think we don't even have a haters club. I think it's just like, here's the truth. Here's the truth of what's happening. Eyes wide open. With eyes wide open. You know, I think that's what we have going on here. Production was, Silly Goose says, this close to letting the narrative, Tom falling for Rachel, be Ariana. Oh, they wanted us to believe that. They wanted us to go, oh yeah, Ariana didn't fill the batteries and she didn't clean the kitty litter and she's a horrible bitch who left the paper towels. Tom had to do everything. Of course, she wouldn't even have sex with them or have his babies. Oh my God, it's her fault. They wanted to erase Ariana so quickly and keep the Toms pristine and well-liked with their good at it. And we were like, oh no. We're not dumb. You can't fool us. Thankfully, they got caught. All the girl, yep. And then we saw, you know, Tom Sandoval going, it works good for me. It's good for me. Well, speaking of Tom Sandoval, according to the just spilling all the tea, Kristen Doute, him and Tom Schwartz are on a break, possibly. Let's see what she
side fit.
All right. Let me reload the page and then we'll listen to what she has to say.
Advice be for Tom Sandoval now? How does he move forward in life?
I don't think that there's anything I can say that is going to push Tom in any direction one way or the other. I hope he gets through this sort of, it feels like this, like, I don't want to say midlife crisis, but kind of like, it's kind of what he's in right now. I talk to Schwartz pretty often. Like, we're both very close with Schwartz, and even Schwartz and Sandoval have sort of evolved away from each other. I know there's a lot of love there. I think that's one of those, it's like a me and Katie thing. It's like, it'll always be, but I don't think that they're going to be as close as they used to be. And I think Sandoval's got to like kind of just go through what he's going through and then hopefully come out the other side of it.
The magnitude of it is extraordinary, to say the least.
Yeah. It's not the Tom that it's a bit of the Tom that I once knew. I will say that there are pieces of that, but he's not really the Tom that I knew.
What?
So Alex Baskin-Robbins again putting a woman on the spot and saying, "What would your advice be for Tom Sandoval?" Mine would be get fucked. I don't know what Kristen has dealt with. She doesn't got to deal with his ass anymore. Who cares? What do you mean? You guys have been around him long enough to know that the man is, well, not much of a man and not capable of having any accountability or any real change. And it's pretty clear watching him on the Traitors, like something is going on with that dude. Why is he sweating so much? Why does he have pink eye? You know, why does he look like that? What is really going on with this dude? Again, we have these older men who are allegedly really into certain, we'll just say substances. I don't know, you know, drinking too much sweet tea or something. I don't know what's happening, but it's not normal to show up at breakfast with your shirt pitted out if you didn't go work out or run a marathon before then. Okay. Unless maybe, you know, it could be having the hot flashes I'm starting to have in perimenopause. Okay. Maybe he's got the menopause. I don't know, but something's going on. He's got to fix that. But Kristen saying that maybe him and Schwartz are taking a break. But how many times have we heard, you know, Schwartz is kind of pulling away from him only for him to be pulled right back towards Sandoval? They have a very unhealthy, toxic relationship themselves. The Tom's relationship is extremely toxic and extremely codependent and gross. Shine says, want us to feel sorry for Schwartz for choosing to follow Sandy, but yeah, we don't. Feel sorry for Schwartz. Sorry. We don't. And we're not sorry, even though I just said sorry. Okay. Oh no, more sidecar talk. Veronique says, Silly Goose says, this is called the consequences of your actions. Both Toms. Yeah. Sit in it. Enjoy it. And really, there's not much consequences because they're still getting quite a few opportunities. I mean, Tom Sandoval was invited on an Emmy Award-winning fantastic television show, Traitors, that he didn't deserve by any stretch of the imagination. But here we are. And take zero accountability. There's some crazy stuff going on. It is not normal. Tom Sandoval's behavior, all of that is like, ew. And his eyes bugging out the first time. He's like, and he's all sweaty. And he's got like something. It's not looking good. It does not look. That's what it was. So much. It was like New York City Marathon sweat. Like, what did this dude do? And he came in with his cardigan. Is that cardigan like made of like the strongest, warmest wool humankind has ever known? Why are you sweating so much? My favorite though is still that someone put on Twitter, he's sweating that much because he has to be a faithful for the first time in his life. And he doesn't know how to do it. And that is just perfection. That. Immortal Geo says Lisa Vanderpump and Ken Ton were being pervs by making the staff strip for those calendars. Are the new Pump cast members going to make calendars? Oh, looking back, that was like, oh, okay. Like in their pool, and they're like, oh. Shine said, yeah, he'll be on House of Villains next. Like, there's still going to be opportunities for someone like Sandoval. So when he was complaining that like somehow, he lost his opportunities, he's had more opportunities than he's ever had in his career being a dick, which is unfortunate. Because then that kind of encourages people to behave badly, and then you get more opportunities. Anna says, as Chriselle said on House of Villains, Sandoval had too much sugar before. Did she say that? Did I miss that, Anna? Oh my God. Ugh, too much sugar. Either that or he's coming down from something. I mean, the fact that these men look us in the face and act as though they're not having some fun with some serious recreational, non-recreational, whatever you'd call it, with some little booger sugar, sir, you guys are 88 years old and you're sitting here like, what are they talking about? What are they got? They think we're stupid and we're not. It's just, hello. Cammy says, I heard his luggage was lost and he had to borrow clothes. Oh, that would explain the sweating. Borrow clothes. Ugh, not enough clothes. Because that is a gift to lose his luggage. We see what he wears. Yeah, that was the Lord's way. That was how the universe speaks to you. That was the universe speaking to you, saying, fashion, not so good. Not so good. Osflago says, oh God, I read the Toms moved in together and are being filmed in their no. With the success of their business and relationships, personal growth. They've had no success with their business, no success in their personal life. And they're to blame. Hi. Oh, she said I didn't watch her on Watch What Happens Live. I saw her on it with Lisa Barlow, and I haven't watched it yet. That is funny. I like Chriselle. I really like the women this season of Traitors. And yeah, I'm very much enjoying them. Yeah, skied down Mount Pasta, allegedly. Heavy on the Alfredo. Lots of Parmesan. They were, they're like, would you like some fresh Parmesan on your salad? And Tom just kept going like this. And they're like, sir, are we done? No. He was like, make it rain. I'll make it rain. I'll make it rain. I'll make it rain in these nostrils. Like he's allegedly, obviously, what do we know? All jokes, satire, satirical. What? Huh? Sarcasm. Silly Goose says he also at some point finds out about the big fight with Billy Lee and Victoria and Kyle that doesn't help the sweat. Yeah. Christina Coca, shout out to Christina Coca. She was putting the timeline together of when he would have found out with filming and how those two things could have coincided. I'm like, yep. Oh, don't forget about the Addies. Yeah, but their good friend Addie, allegedly. Yeah, everything alleged. We don't know what we're talking about. Jokes. Jokes. Evelyn says, I think Sandoval and Jax's lifestyle will catch up to them. I can tell Sandoval is not very well. He doesn't look good. Not that kind of stuff. You can't be doing that stuff in your 90s. Ask Dick Van Dyke. You don't see Dick Van Dyke, who's just a year older than Tom Sandoval at 99, skiing down Mount Alfredo. You don't see that happening. Because he realizes, like, you got to give that shit up at 70, latest 70. And 70 is late to give it up. You got to give it up a lot sooner. Pamela said that would be a depressing show, watching the two jobs live together. Yeah. Unless they titled it something like What Not to Do as a Man in America in his 90s. What not to do. Pranik says, a sullen and sweaty sack. Yeah, Dick Van Dyke's only a year older than Tom Sandoval, it's crazy, because I think we forget, because he acts so childish, that he's almost the oldest man alive. And there he is, making the same mistakes over and over again. I literally think he thinks it's like 1996 and he's a teenager. And he's, or I should say, sorry, 1906, and he's a teenager. And he's just out there, living La Vida Loca, and we're like, no, sir, you're like 100. I am, Ma. I am. Oh, Sly Girl says you can't treat your body like a carnival ride in your 40s. You can't. Okay, because if you could, I would be eating ice cream every day. I mean, even I had to cut back on the ice cream. Okay, this little guy wants to come out and play too often. I'm like, get back there. Get back there. Okay. Kibber says Tom's gyno doctor told him about his sperm count and that he was abusing his body. I forgot about that. Not his gyno doctor. Yes, his sperm count. He was like, it's great, Don. He's like, no, it's not good. Your little guys are screaming like, we can't breathe. We're way down here. There's some powder substance on us. Cigarettes, booze, there's like, your spermies are swimming in, sacks of Coors Light, because if you drink it into your 90s, it just soaks right down to the balls. That's gravity. That's evolution. That's old age. It just soaks right to the fallen nutsack. Everybody knows that. That's biology. That's science. Obviously, I'm very scientific. Baby, you're like lightning in a boogie. Baby, you're like lightning and some cocaine. I can't wait to party with you behind in Jax's tent and bar in Studio City or some shit. It's great. Thank you, Chicken Head, for the super chat. Chicken says, you're so funny. Same age as Dick Van Dyke. Yeah, no shade to Dick Van Dyke. No offense, all offense to Dick Van Dyke, because he's doing, well for himself. But Tom, not so well. Not so well. Down to the balls. Soaks right down to the balls. Okay. Well, you guys have just been fantastic. All right. And you're wonderful, beautiful pumpkin spice babies. And I appreciate each and every one of you for joining me today in the live chat. Shout out to Chickenhead, PK Dorkface, Neely, Sweet C. Thank you so much for the sweet super sticker. You are a sweetie, wipe the CD artist. Thank you for the super chat. And Chickenhead again coming in with a super chat. You guys are amazing. Don't forget to smash that like, comment after the video, post, share my channel out with your friends. And I will be back tomorrow, you guys. Tonight, I won't be able to do a watch party because I have a show. Again, if you are in Joshua Tree, let me tell you where it's at because I forgot where my show's at. If you're in the Joshua Tree, California area, you can see me and some very hilarious comedians tonight. Oops. I got to find my own damn show. It's the Escape from LA, a comedy show fundraiser for fire victims. It's at 7 p.m. tonight at the Z Club. Z. Okay. In Joshua Tree. And we're raising money for the At Cal Fund and everyone affected by the fires. And you can see me and two other hilarious comedians at the Z Club, 7 p.m. Joshua Tree, raising money for the California fire relief efforts. If you want more information, follow me on Instagram at Joleen Lunzer. So I won't be able to do a watch party tonight, but we'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow we have a No Offense, All Offense at 11:30 a.m. and a watch party for part 1 of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. That's tomorrow, right? Reunion. I'm confused because Beverly Hills is tonight. Okay. Yep. Yes, witnesses, heads up. All my California friends, stay posted to the emergency notifications. Please stay aware of the fires. Yes. And as I thought, it's like 4 hours from me. We better get in the car now, girl. You better get in the car. But thank you guys again. There are links in the description of the video for places that if you can give, you can help for the California wildfire relief efforts. But until next time, you guys, enjoy yourself because it's later than you think. Bye.
If you like what you